All right, welcome back to another channel update. And, well, it's a fantastic time to be a toy reviewer right now on YouTube because with 2 months to go before the whole policy, the new policy changes come into effect for YouTube, they all come into effect January 1, 2020, and all content that's been dubbed as made for kids will no longer receive 90% of personalized advertising. That's 90% of all ads are gone. That's personalized advertising. You'll be left with 10% of contextual ads. So revenue for that video is going to go down 90%. No more commenting, no more stories. You cannot see it on your feed. No suggested videos. It won't be suggested. It'll be static. It'll be a dead in the water video. The only way to view it is if you go through to the channel that made that video and watch it. And even so, even if you watch it a lot of times, the only advertising it's going to get is contextual advertising, which is an ad that's sort of relevant to the video and not a personalized ad, which are ads targeted to the audience. Okay, so all that effect happens January 2020, 2020. And with 2 months to go, YouTube has decided to do a soft earmarking of all videos on YouTube. So last week, around Wednesday, I think, I woke up, checked all my videos on the laptop, and 90% of my videos, I kid you not, 9 out of 10 of my videos had been marked by YouTube as made for kids content. So I sought advice from one of the creator managers for YouTube Asia that I know of, and he told me to not to panic right away, but I was in panic mode, definitely. And he said, mark your channel first. Don't go to each of your videos, because that's what I did the first time. I went through all my videos and I started ticking off each and every video as not made for kids. And he says, no, stop that. What you want to do is you want to go to your channel page and go to the settings for audience and set your channel as not made for kids, that you do not post any content that's made for kids. And I said, okay, I could do that, because there were three options. You can mark it as not made for kids, you can mark it as made for kids, which means most of your content is made for kids, or you're unsure and you want to mark each of the videos on your own individually. And he says, no, you got to mark your channel first as, I'm saying, not made for kids. So I asked him, but I do have some videos that are actually made for kids, like videos that have Alex and Danny in them. Is that okay? Is it okay to mark my whole entire channel as not made for kids, that I don't publish anything made for kids? He says, yeah, it's totally cool. You can mark it as not made for kids and then go to the individual videos. So that's what I did. I marked the whole channel as not made for kids, and all the pre-markings, the pre-earmarked tags of YouTube disappeared as made for kids. They were all tagged as not made for kids. So the last 72 hours, I went through each and every of my 1,945 videos. I know it's not a lot, and I should have probably spent just a day doing it, but I spent about roughly 72 hours checking each of the video and marking them and just checking them if they were marked properly. And a lot of the action figures reviews, Marvel, Star Wars, Transformers, I made sure they were all not made for kids. But videos that had like Alex and Danny in them, or Alex reviewing a lightsaber, or Happy Meal toys, or toys from Zootopia, I had to change the marking to, yes, this video is made for kids, and that video is going to go static by January. It's not going to get anything by January. So I was trying to be as honest as I can. I was trying to tell, I don't know if it will work, but my intention was, I wanted to tell YouTube that the content I do, most of it, 90% of it, is not made for kids, because I do figure reviews that are not intended for kids. But I do have videos that are made for kids, and I'm telling you what they are, what I believe are made for kids. and those that are not made for kids. So that's what I try to do. 1,945. Wow, it was a lot. And as I was doing it, a lot of realizations came into my mind, and I'm guessing this is me being doom and gloom mode. And I'm thinking by January, YouTube's gonna go and review all the videos I marked not for kids, not made for kids, because of my channel settings, and they're gonna go, nope, this one's made for kids. Nope, nope, this one's made for kids. Their algorithm's gonna do that and reset my setting as this video is made for kids, this video is made for kids, and 90% is gonna go back to made for kids. And it's scary, but that's just the way it is. And you know, I just need to come up with content that's really not made for kids. And hopefully by December, I'm planning by December, mid-December, just before Christmas, I'm hoping I can roll out a few of my food videos. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be a surprise. There's a lot of cooking involved, but it's very simple. Anybody can do cooking type of videos. Maybe I'll do some comparison food videos, like I'm comparing a particular brand of cookie to another, or sandwich or burger, whatever. I could do that, comparison videos and basic cooking videos, nothing too spectacular. And I'll hopefully I can roll out a few videos starting December, so they'll get traction, so that by January it'll have some income to augment the income loss that's going to happen when the Made for Kids policy changes happen. So hopefully I'm going to try and do that. And I realize also that it's not going to be as easy as shooting an action figure review. I wanted to start it this month, but I was having difficulty trying to position, you know, I don't have the studio set up for a cooking show. I'm going to have to make do with my own kitchen, and I'm going to try and see how best to show it to you guys using a very basic video shoot. I don't want it to be too complicated, because if it gets too complicated, I'm not going to want to do it. So I want to be able to do it very simple recipes, very simple, easy to do food. And hopefully you guys are going to watch it. I mean, if you love my toy reviews and you like food, hopefully you're gonna like my food videos. And I'm hoping YouTube does not think it's made for kids content. And as I was checking all my videos, I began to realize, man, one of the other things I realized were I bought a lot of crap, or bought a lot of shit. I think I can say that now, because so this video does not become made for kids content. And I was trying to look through all the videos, and over the years since 2009, I have bought a ton of crazy shit and reviewed them, and I've sold a lot of these I cannot say the T word, these collectibles. So I've been deleting all the tags that said has, or toy companies has, and Matt and Tom. I don't want to say the full name, because this video might they might think this is a toy, it might think this is a kids video. So toy company names were out. I deleted every single tag that said Disney and has, everything like that. I got rid of it. I remarked every single title. I got rid of the T word. I got rid of fun. I got rid of words that may make the video, that make the algorithm of YouTube think that the video is a made for kids video. So that's what I try to do. But videos with Alex and Danny and them, I clicked it as, yes, this is made for kids. It's trying to be as honest as possible, trying to show them that, yes, I do admit I have kids content, but these are the kids content, these are not the kids content. So that's what I've been trying to do. And just a lot of reflection going on. And moving forward to 2020, I'm really hoping you guys can still support my food channel, so that I don't have to quit doing these kinds of reviews, the pop culture collectible reviews. Is that fair enough, YouTube? Okay, because you can't do kids content anymore. Anything YouTube seemed went to have designated their videos when they did that pre-sorting, that earmarking, soft earmarking of videos. I was checking through my videos, and I think that anything that has to do with toys, games, yeah, they had the guidelines, they had a list of guidelines, costumes, cosplay, nursery rhymes, stories, anything that related to kids themes were considered kids content. And I was thinking, I think the algorithm's going for any video that they think a kid would watch. Even if there's a small chance that a kid would watch that video, they're going to mark it as made for kids. And it sucks because you're left with making content that's 13 years old and above, 13 to about 17 or 18, that hopefully 99% of the time a kid's not going to watch it. And you cannot make a video that's too mature. You can't say the F word, the F bomb, because that will move into a very mature type of video category, which is categorized by YouTube as not suitable for all advertisers, and you lose all advertising. So what you're left with really is a video that a 13-year-old to a 17-year-old would likely watch, or 18-year-old adults would watch, but it's not too restricted to adults that teenagers would watch it. It's very difficult to go into that in-between zone. Now, especially if you're doing the kind of content that I'm doing, which is pop culture collectibles. And I guess the algorithm is going for that. Any video that might be watched by a kid, small chance they'd mark it. But before I mark my channel, this is the last realization I'm going to talk about. Before I marked my channel as not made for kids, I was looking through all the videos that were marked as made for kids. It was about 85-90%. 8 or 9 out of 10 of my videos were marked as made for kids, and they were a lot of Transformers, Star Wars, action figures, 3.75-inch Transformers. But it was weird because I had videos like Hot Wheels that were not marked as made for kids by YouTube. They were not pre-marked. I was thinking maybe it's the amount of views, because a lot of the videos that were marked as made for kids had a ton of views. Then I saw a video that I made about Despicable Me, Happy Meal toys. These are Despicable Me is definitely made for kids. Happy Meal toys definitely made for kids. It had about close to 1 million views. It wasn't marked as made for kids, and I was like, what's going on? How do I know what the algorithm is looking for, is checking? And the Love Triangle Marvel Legends figure that I made, the review, the 3-pack, it had a hammer on it as a thumbnail. It wasn't marked as made for kids, but the Havoc and Polaris, you've seen the thumbnail of that video, it was marked as made for kids. So I was like, I honestly don't know how the algorithm works. So the YouTube manager was trying to tell me that YouTube is still going to take at face value that the YouTube creator is going to be honest and say which are made for kids and which are not made for kids. They're going to depend on that first. That's their first criteria. And then they're going to analyze the video through their algorithms and machine learning devices, whether you're saying the truth or not. So it's going to be a sticky situation as I upload videos and as I maintain them. And I've all but resigned to the fact that all those videos that I made sure were marked as not made for kids, they're going to be reversed come 2020, and I'm just gonna see it. But the manager I spoke to said, he was handling another account that actually made content that was more made for kids than my content, and he's looking at the numbers on the profile, and he says they weren't as hit as much. They're not going to be as hit as much as his other client that was really making kids content. So he says not to worry too much about my channel, because he thinks I'm going to be hit, but I'm not going to be hit that much. He couldn't do my numbers because I wasn't in his portfolio. I didn't have enough subscribers to be in his portfolio. Apparently, you had to be a silver playbook recipient to be in his portfolio. And I guess I'm trying to read between the lines what he's saying. He's probably thinking that I don't have enough views, I don't have enough subscribers to really be affected. I'm not making enough income to really be affected as much. So for those making a lot of income, you're going to be hit a lot. But if you're like me, not making a lot, really just making a drop in the bucket, the hit is not going to be a lot. So he told me not to worry, but I don't know. I'm trying to be as positive as I can. I was talking to my wife about this, and I was thinking of maybe just shutting down the whole channel. And we were discussing it, and she says, and I was thinking about it. I'm still a YouTube partner, unless I get penalized for abuse, because if YouTube or their learning device thinks that you've abused that honesty system of declaring as not made for kids, you've done too much, not made for kids, but they actually see, yes, it is made for kids. They think it's made for kids, but you keep saying it's not made for kids, you're going to be slapped with consequences and penalties. And as long as I don't get enough penalties, I don't get penalized as much, I can continue doing content and reaching out to you guys and offering you alternative content to these pop culture collectible reviews. And maybe I can still do both. Simple food videos and simple pop culture memorabilia reviews. Maybe I can do that. And like I said in my earlier video, times are getting very hard, especially here in Asia. I don't know if you watch CNN. It's a tough time in Asia, especially in places like Hong Kong, China, and in the Philippines, like where I live. I live in the Philippines. It's a third world country, and you're probably thinking, you gotta count your blessings, think about it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. It's a third world country, and our minimum wage is $11 a day. Now, a lot of you in the U.S. and Canada are probably thinking you're not going to survive on $11 an hour, right? But here in Manila, the basic pay, minimum wage, if you get a decent job, is $11 a day, and that's before deductions, taxes, social security deductions, and all that. So can you imagine living on like $9 a day, roughly $8 to $9 a day? That's minimum wage. And entrepreneurs like me, I run a very small bake shop. Times have been hard as well. I have a few brick and mortar shops. Not exactly. They're like small kiosks, like 3 feet by 3 feet kiosks or 4 feet by 4 feet kiosks. And I used to have about 6 branches, different malls, 6 different malls, 4 malls and 2 schools. And now they've dwindled to about 2 branches. And I do an organic market in my neighborhood every week, every Saturday. I do an organic market. I sell my stuff. But I have 2 stores, and one of the stores is closing by the end of this year because it's just not, we're not making rent. The sales have dipped severely because the mall in that area, the mall used to be the only mall in that area. And then in the last 12 years, 4 other malls have popped up around it that were much better than this mall. This mall is just crap right now, and nobody's going to the mall. So after 12 years of doing business with them, I'm forced to just close up shop. So I'll be left with one shop that's near in my neighborhood, which is in the city I'm in, because that one's another city. So that and my my organic neighborhood market, that's probably what I'm left with in my business. I'm just lucky that my wife she has a corporate job. She's doing pretty well, so we don't have too much trouble putting the kids to school, getting them all the basic things. But as for me continuing something like this, it's not going to be as easy as, like, say 5 years ago or 4 years ago, when I had enough capital to sustain it, because I'll have to think of other needs right now, and I can't just have my wife taking care of everything. I do have to pitch in and chip in with the expenses, and it's not as easy now. And inflation in the Philippines is an all-time high. We were up 7% last year. Now it's down to 5% to 3.5% to 4%. So it's okay, but things are still very expensive, and it's still not as easy as that. And like I said, if you think of surviving on $9 a day. Okay, which leads me to the next topic, is the toys. And then a lot of people were saying, you think your toys are expensive, you should go to Scandinavia, you should go to Australia, you should go to Taiwan. The toys there are more expensive than in the Philippines and Manila. Sure, because their per capita income is much higher than the Philippines. Their minimum wage is way higher than the Philippines. So that's not going to be that big of a problem. But here in Manila, let me just give you a case in point, because a lot of people were doubting me and saying that no, prices there are not expensive, and people were saying no, that's impossible. Toy prices in the Philippines are not that expensive as in the US. Well, they are actually. If you don't live in Manila, I don't think you have a right to say that. If you're a Filipino who live in the US, and I have a lot of Filipino subscribers living in the US calling BS on what I said about the toys being more expensive here. Think of it this way. The 1/12 scale 6-inch action figures in the US are about $18 to $20. Okay, exclusives are like $24, $25. Here in Manila, the cheapest they retail, first fresh off the boat, new stocks. They arrive at toy stores like Toys R Us, Toy Kingdom, Rustan's, Landmark, Toy Town. Those are the major toy stores here in Manila. Yes, we still have Toys R Us, because the Toys R Us stores in Asia are not owned by Toys R Us. They are Asian-owned stores that paid some money to use the Toys R Us brand. So they are well and alive. Toys R Us is alive in Asia, Philippines, Hong Kong, everywhere. But those 6-inch figures, they retail for about $30. Marvel Legends have gone down to about $26, $28. They're very expensive. Store exclusives, if hobby shops get them, they go for about $40. So $22, $40. That's a big disparity. Deluxe class figures, they go for about $20 in the US. Here it's about $20 to $30. Voyager class figures, they're about $25 in the US. Here they are at least $34, $34 to $40. Leader class figures are $45 in the US. Out here they're at least $60 to $65. So the toys here are very expensive. And I got a lot of smart aleck subscribers, Filipino subscribers, out in the US saying, why don't you just buy your stuff on clearance? I think that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard, especially if you're in the toy review industry. Sorry, I didn't mean YouTube. I didn't mean to say the T word. The pop culture review, collectible review industry, and you can't buy stuff on clearance. It's like old news. Nobody's gonna watch old stuff. Yeah, some people might still watch it, but you want to get the most out of your audience. You want to make videos that are as fresh as possible. So when something comes out on retail, I don't get anything from the factory, not like some reviewers who live in Vietnam get it from straight from the factory. I get it on retail, on hobby shops when they retail it, toy stores when they retail it. I don't get it from Hasbro, from that toy company. I don't get free supply. I don't get stuff from online stores. I don't get anything free. I have to buy stuff at hobby shops or at retail when they're out. I have to wait for them. So when they do come out, I have to buy them, and once they're out, I have to review them because I want to keep it as fresh as possible. If I wait for them on clearance, I'm not going to get maximize the views and all that. And people are going to think, why are you just reviewing it now? Everybody already has it, so why? I could still probably do that on certain figures that, are not as interesting or are not as highly anticipated, like Siege Barricade. Yeah. repaints and all that. But with the latest ones, I have to get them out as soon as I can. So it's gonna be tough. I'll need to make the food content um, economically viable, financially viable, so that I can get stuff to review for the pop culture reviews. Okay, so with that, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to make this a sob story or too dramatic and boohoo. You know, I just wanted to update you guys, and I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to say my piece on this month's move by YouTube to earmark and pre-tag Made for Kids content before the January policy changes come into effect. And a lot of reviewers have already said their piece, and I felt that it was only fair to you guys that I say my piece. And I wanted to say thank you for still being around, for sticking with my channel. And I hope that whatever content I do make that's not pop culture related, you'd still give it a chance and give it a go and just watch it. I promise I'm gonna try and give it my own style, the same style that I've done with Chefatron videos. Hopefully I can still do that. And we have about 1.5 months to go before the policy changes effect, and I've been trying to get as much stuff to review, trying to get as much videos out there that I can still afford to do, that toys, figures and collectibles that I can still buy with the money I have and still review it. Because if you notice, I've went out and quit Masterpiece Transformers. They're just way too expensive for me. I can't do them anymore. Amazing Yamaguchi, I've went out and sold all my Amazing Yamaguchis except for one, which was given to me as a gift. And I just can't keep collecting the line anymore. So I'm sticking with mainstream toys that I can still afford and review. And I hope you just give me enough support for the rest of the year, the whole month of December, and this last few weeks of November. Let's just push it. Let's just give it all we got. And I'm a promise. I promise I will do my best to give out and roll out as much video reviews as I can in the last 7 weeks left for 2020, just to give you as much as I can before the policy changes come into effect. I'll do my best to do that, and hopefully maximize revenues on those videos with your help. And I can use that capital to just survive with the next quarter, next coming months, when policy changes come into effect. And a lot of you were saying, I wanted to address another issue. You said, why don't we just move to another platform? It's not as easy. I tried Twitch. It's difficult. If you're not a gamer, nobody's gonna watch you. Instagram, you don't get paid there. The only time you're gonna get paid is if a company decides to sponsor you and do an endorsement deal. I tried Patreon. The only way you get paid by Patreon is you go through a US bank, which I obviously can't do because I'm not a US citizen, or through PayPal. PayPal is not going to work for me because here in the Philippines, believe it or not, PayPal just opened an office just recently. But believe it or not, nobody uses PayPal here. Very few. 3 to 5% of businesses use PayPal in Manila or in the Philippines, and cash is still king out here in Asia. So YouTube is still my only best resort to get paid for this creative stuff that I do. And I guess, I've always believed that in life things happen for a reason. Whatever you believe in a higher power, or what, you're religious or whatever. I've had a lot of shit happen to me. Not as much shit as what's happened to other people, but I've come to believe that things do happen for a reason. And back then in my life, early on in my life, there was a time I felt my world had ended, and the worst thing that could ever happen to me happened already. And for those of you who are my close friends here in Manila, you'd probably know what I'm talking about, that event in my life. And years later, 21 years later, I realized that was one of the best things that ever happened to my life. So I've always believed that things happen for a reason. This thing moving forward, I'm beginning to think, maybe it's time to evolve. Maybe this had to happen because I'm thinking if I can't really retire on doing collectible reviews, because who wants to watch a senior citizen really reviewing figures, pop culture memorabilia with pruny hands and all that? I mean, no one's gonna. I can't really sustain that, right? And my fantastic voice and kooky character, I don't think I can sustain this for another 10 years. If I'm still alive in the next 10 to 12 years, I don't get a heart attack because of my lifestyle. Look, when you're in the food business, you eat a lot of things. It's the most unhealthy profession. But I guess when you have something to fall back on once you start aging, and I guess I guess it had happened. I mean, I'm a little bit grateful for it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support. Again, I do not take for granted anything in this life anymore, especially all the support, all the love, all the affirmations that you give, especially all the haters out there. I mean, I don't take anything for granted. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Every comment, every like that you guys do, every time you watch my video, it means a lot. I know I say my comments are like the same thanks, I appreciate it. I do. I really, really appreciate all of you guys, all that you've done to support me and what I do on YouTube. And hopefully, we can evolve into something better. And you guys are still going to be there and stick around. And I am going to say thank you in advance. When 2020 comes, it's going to be very exciting. Wish me luck for December. I'm going to make some really crude videos for you guys on food, and I hope you like it. And I guess that's it for today's update. Trying to keep my chin up and head and not dwell on the doom and gloom situation that a lot of reviewers are facing right now on YouTube. So with that, thank you, and till next time, thanks for watching. I gotta work on a catchphrase for my food videos. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think my food catchphrase should be. And I can't afford to pay you, but if you do, if I pick your recommendation, I'll make sure to cite you and mention you that it's your idea and I'm using it. Okay? So thanks for watching.